Look, I was on that front line. How they finna tell us it ain't our time? Search what you can't find. I do it for them days that we couldn't shine.
Hello and welcome back to Centex Primetime Inside Texas Football. I'm here, Jalen Gillis, here with PJ Gaither. And PJ, we've just coming off of a good weekend of football, going into another good weekend of football. Last week, the premier matchup that we got to talk about last week was La Vega versus Conley. And we got a chance to be at that game, both of us got a chance to call that game. The replay of that game is up on YouTube, and the condensed highlight version will be up on YouTube by tomorrow morning. So, PJ, we got to see a good one. Conley pulled that one out 35-34. A great win in that one. Jelani McDonald, we gave the Centex Player of the Week, had 4 total touchdowns, had 184 rushing yards. Kiefer Sibley as well had 115 yards on 14 carries. So the backfield played great, and those two guys, like we thought, Kobe Black had a pick six in that one as well, and made some big plays as well. A couple pass breakups that were big plays. So they really a back and forth game. Conley got down 14-28, I believe, going into the fourth quarter, and La Vega ended up getting up 34-21, I believe, and Conley was able to come back in that fourth quarter and come back and get that W 35-34. So PJ, talk a little bit about what you got to see that game.
Really just both teams starting off the game, you just felt like just the energy in the entire stadium. It was a big rivalry, so you just felt it. Coming out, I believe Conley started off with certain mistakes like penalties and stuff like that.
Well, first two drives got plagued by penalties, actually. Yeah.
And then after a while, like they got the momentum, and then La Vega started making mistakes, and then we seen right before half, Kiefer Sibley fumbled the ball at the goal line, and La Vega was able to go all the way down the field and tie the game up, before going into half. So, and then coming into the second half, you seen La Vega, they came out, got the momentum instantly, went up 28-14 going into the fourth quarter. But then, but you seen Conley, they just stayed persistent. They just kept on fighting back and was able to get that win. So it was a great game. These are the type of wins, like I was talking about earlier to one of my friends, about this Baylor versus BYU game coming up. Like that's a win that can make you go on a run. For Conley, you beating the number 4 team in the state of Texas, a team that people really everywhere thought that you were going to lose to. Even though you had the bigger names in the game, they felt that they were the more complete team. So that's a game that you can go, on a run after beating them. Sometimes when you get these wins as a team, it really just takes you up to another notch. Sometimes, it just makes you feel better, like you feel confident, like, oh, we are really good. Sometimes that you're good, but when you play against a team that's like ranked in the state and you beat them like they did on Friday, that just helps the team morale.
Yeah, it really boosts your team a lot. Like you said, it's always a big win whenever Conley can beat La Vega. Like we said, they haven't beat them since 2015, so they were able to cancel that streak out. Played them really close in 2020. Didn't get a chance to play last year in 21 because of COVID. So these guys were ready to get back at it, and Conley came up, showed out in a big way. And this week coming up, they've got another 2-0 team coming up in the Cameron Yeoman team that everybody that watches Texas football, Texas high school football, is very familiar with. Cameron Yo, an established program, an historic program, and to see these two teams clash, both coming in at 2-0, and Cameron Yo is coming in averaging, folks, let me get this point right, 66.5 points a game. The first game they put up 71 against Lago Vista, and Lago Vista is a team that won 10 games last year, so that they weren't any scrubs. They put up 71 points in that game, 71-35 win, and then their second game they put up 62-28 in that win as well. So they put up some big numbers so far this season. We've seen what Conley has been able to do. They put up a big game versus Mejia in that first one, and another big scoring game against La Vega, who we always know has a good defense. They had a good game against Kennedale in week 1, and their defense did. And Conley came out and was able to score 35 points against that La Vega defense. One of the things we kind of, not us, but some people that maybe weren't as plugged into the program are wondering, how is the offense going to look with the transferring of Trey Wise and they're going to DeSoto. So they're thinking they're losing a big chunk, and maybe how would they be able to put up points? This Conley team has answered the bell, putting up good points in the first week and then putting up 35 points against a good defense in La Vega and a ranked team in La Vega. So excited to see, folks. This could be a shootout, what we see on this Friday. So make sure you guys are getting ready to tune in to that one. It's going to be on CentexSportsNetwork.com. Make sure you guys are going onto the website and getting subscribed so you can go on and be able to watch it. It's a free subscription. Just go on there, get a couple details ironed out, and you'll be able to watch the game, and that is CentexSportsNetwork.com. So going into this game on Friday, PJ, what are some of the things you look to see in this game, Cameron Yo versus Conley?
I'm seeing. I really want to see them cut down on some of the penalties.
Yeah.
On Conley's side. Honestly, Cameron Yo, they're a very good team. I mean, I was very surprised watching tape on them guys. They actually have a very good passing game.
Yeah.
And if anybody know anything about Cameron, they're usually like a run.
Yeah,
team,
very, very run heavy usually.
But they got a very good passing game, and they still got a good running game too. You know, so they're just complete all around on offense. It's really going to come down to the defense stepping up for Conley to get these stops. Which I really trust that they can do. They have a very good defense. A good D line that's going to get. They're going to get pressure on the QB. So that's really what it is. Really just staying consistent, cut down on some of the penalties, certain mistakes and everything. I think they'll be good, man. Honestly, I really don't see I'm not really too nervous for them this week. I really feel like that they can beat them. I feel like that they're more battle tested after playing La Vega. Personally, I don't think Cameron Yo has seen a team as good as La Vega so far this season, and that was going up, one classification for one division for Conley. So I really feel like Conley can do it, man. They just gotta cut down on the penalties because that can really hurt your team and that can really cause you to lose the game.
Yeah,
just being disciplined. So that's what it's gonna come down to, is being disciplined. Try to out physical them. We all know Cameron Yo is a very physical team. They're gonna try to run. I mean, just hit you in the mouth as soon as the game starts. So you got to hit them before they hit you. So as long as they just try to out physical them, or even just maintain the same amount of physical, they're gonna be good.
Yeah, like you said, just touch on that. Just keeping that same intensity that we saw in the La Vega game. If they can keep that intensity going, I think that they'll be good going into this Cameron Yo game. Like you said, they're taking them on at Cameron. So that always adds a little bit. They're going on the road. Conley's really their first road game of the year because La Vega was just kind of down the street. So first road game for Conley. They got to bring that same intensity, like you said, that they had last week, bringing that into this Cameron game. If they do that, I think they'll be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing too. Good thing about it is that they're going to Cameron with Cameron having turf now.
Yes.
I remember. I'm old enough to remember going to Cameron and they had grass on the field.
Yep.
And they had crickets that would shoot down at you like bullets. Like, that's a lot you got to go through. You trying to beat them, and then you got crickets that shooting down at you. That's And
you can see PJ still traumatized from whatever the childhood memory he has of going to the Cameron Yo game. So he's ready for the crickets and the mosquitoes that'll be out there.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got that game coming up, and a couple other games just in the Central Texas area that you want to look at. The Temple versus College Station game. Very excited about this one. Can't wait to see how that one is going to turn out. Temple coming in at 2-0, also ranked in the state. I think is it 22, 21?
22, yeah.
Yeah, I think ranked number 22 coming into this one. And they're taking on a good College Station team that started off the season not exactly how they wanted to start it against Lovejoy. Able to rebound kind of last week, and now they're coming in another great opponent in the Temple Wildcats. So that's going to be a good one. Got Mart versus Italy. I think we're all going to pick Mart in this one. Another Central Texas matchup between these two teams. Mart, I think they're going to stay on the roll in that one. And another one in Central Texas, Midway versus Vandergrift. Midway coming in. Vandergrift, a very good opponent for Midway. Midway, this is a chance to try to rebound. They're starting off this season 0-2, looking for their first win of the season. I think that Coach Anderson and those guys, they're going to try to get some stuff established this week and see if they can get back to the basics and maybe get in that win column this coming up week. So I think those are some of the games in the Central Texas area. We've got some good ones going on in Texas. in general. PJ, what are some of those games that we're looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Well, the first one is North Shore versus Spring Westfield.
Yes.
Those are two teams in 6A, honestly, that can probably go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, me personally, I'm picking North Shore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Spring Westfield, I've seen them beat North Shore a few times
Mm-hmm.
throughout these last few years. So you never know how that game really can go. That's a Houston like rivalry right
Yeah,
there,
Spring,
really right
Westfield,
now.
and North Shore definitely a good matchup coming up for this week, and I've got North Shore in that one as well. Staying there in the Houston region, Katy versus Katy Tompkins, another good matchup we're getting ready to see. I'm going to pick Katy in that one. I think we had Katy picked to win against the Atascocita last week too.
Yeah,
Katy came through for us in that one, so I think I'm going to go with Katy once again, taking on Katy Tompkins.
yeah. And then we also got I'm going up to Dallas. We got Allen Eagles versus Arlington Martin.
Yes,
That's
yes.
going to be a very good game. Arlington Martin is one of the most complete teams right now that I've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
There's like only a few teams that I've been watching that's like really complete.
Yeah,
They're one of those teams. And they're going to be facing the Allen team that really just had a very good outing last week
yeah,
against CE King, and I was
yeah,
surprised because I picked CE King to beat them,
yeah, yeah.
and they beat
A
them
lot of
like
people did.
like bad. It was 49-14.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They showed up in a big way in that one. A lot of people kind of picked CE King after such a great week one.
yeah,
They kind of thought they were going to kind of go out there and maybe roll over Allen, but Allen definitely showed up in that one with a big one. Another DFW game since you went up to the Dallas area, DeSoto versus Sock. Another great game. That one should be Sock coming off of a win in their last one, and they were able to drop the first one against Duncanville, and then last week able to get a win. So now this week
oh
they're
no,
coming in. Oh,
actually
last week
they
their
lost. Yeah,
Sock is 0-2.
yeah, they 0-2 actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sock is actually 0-2. I forgot about that. Yeah,
they
Sock is
lost.
0-2 going in this one. So Sock definitely looking to get
Get a
in the
win.
win column, even though they've had a pretty rough pre-district going into kind of their preseason schedule. And this is going to be another good matchup for them going
Yeah,
against this DeSoto team who we know has got talent. They got Jonte Cooks, they got Trey Wisner, they've got a few other guys out there. So they're going to be looking to go out there and get a win and keep the momentum going that they've been able to have this season so far. So really good matchup in the DFW. That one, DeSoto versus Sock. I think I'm gonna go. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Sock though, and I think I'm gonna go with Sock to get their first win of the season against this DeSoto team.
honestly, with that game right there, man, both quarterbacks have really been struggling these first like two games.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to be whoever wins this game is going to be the quarterback who really just figures it out.
Yeah,
So I'm picking Sock too. I feel like just overall, man, these first 2 weeks, they honestly got the most talent.
yeah. They
They
got
got the most
a
talent. They
Sock
just have
has a
to.
lot of
They got a
talent,
lot of talent,
a
man.
lot of D1 prospects on that
Yeah,
team.
it's just the offense has to kind of get it rolling right now. The offense
Mm-hmm.
kind of hasn't gotten rolling yet. So I feel like this is going to be the week that they're going to get it rolling.
Yeah.
We also got Lancaster versus Den Gaither.
Yes, yes. Another DFW matchup right there.
Yeah,
Big one. Jackson Arnold and his crew at Dengar. They've got a lot of momentum going so far. We picked those guys to win last week, I believe, against Toledo,
yeah,
and they were able to show up big in that one. And Dengar coming down with the win. Now taking on a very hot Lancaster team who has been making some noise so far this season. Lancaster's been making some noise, and they've got a good squad out there. So that's going to be another good matchup in that one. I'm going to go ahead and go with Denton Geyer in that one once again. Got to go with Jackson Arnold. I think one of the better quarterbacks in the nation, the Oklahoma commit. I think he'll come out with another big game in that one and probably get his team to a win.
yeah. I think I'm going to pick Gaither too.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough because honestly, they are on upset alert.
It's tough.
I
It is
wouldn't be
tough. Yeah.
surprised if they lost because Lancaster is really that good. So I'm gonna go with Gaither though because I just feel like they are the more complete team. But just kind of watch that game because it can go either way.
Yeah.
Really, Lancaster can also win that game too.
Yeah, so those are some of those big matchups that we've got all over the state of Texas this week. So stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of big games coming up this weekend in the Texas high school football region, if that's what you're tuning into. But we know we've also got some college football coming up as well. Had a great last week kicking off the college football season. Got to see some really good games, standout games. We got to see that Appalachian State game versus North Carolina was a great one. Just throwing out some of the good games that Notre Dame versus Ohio State game. that was a good one as well. So getting to see a lot of those big games, really touching on some of the teams here in Texas. We got to see PV get a win versus Texas Southern. So PV, we knew who we picked as well to win in that one. We knew PV would be able to show up big in that game. We've got some good ones coming up, folks, this week as well. Well, actually, last week we also had a double overtime game, or triple overtime game. Forgot about that. Houston versus UTSA, probably the best game of the weekend, honestly, folks. And that was a game featuring teams right here in the Texas area. So, two big games for them. Houston came out with the win in that one to be able to stay alive. A lot of pressure on Houston. A lot of people picked them to go ahead and win that conference going into this year. So they've kind of got some pressure coming out a little bit shaky against UTSA, but they were able to come out with the win in that one. So going into now this week, we've got this Baylor game. We know we got to see Baylor in a huge win versus Abilene Christian, or versus Albany. Sorry, I picked the wrong school right there. Versus Albany, and Baylor did what we thought they were going to do. Baylor came out, showed up in a huge way. This week got a little bit tougher opponent. So number 9 Baylor is going all the way to BYU to take on the number 21 team in the nation in BYU, a future Big 12 rivalry. So very excited to see this one. PJ, what are some of the things you expect to see in this matchup between Baylor and BYU?
Well, this is really starting to become. I know they only played since last year, but this is becoming one of my new favorite rivalries. With BYU coming into the Big 12, I really like this. You got two schools that have a Christian background, so man, it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
If any of the Baylor football players don't know, you're going to go to Provo. It's going to be
it's definitely going to be loud in there. Those fans are going to be rocking too, because this is probably one of the higher matchup games for the whole season, and it's going to be a future Big 12 rivalry game. So we're looking forward to that one. So I've definitely got Baylor picked to come out with the W in this one. I like what I saw from Baylor last week. Like we said, it was against Albany, so not a lot of competition there, but still they showed up and did what they were supposed to do, putting up the amount of points they did. So they did what they were supposed to do. I think this week coming in this one, want to see what Blake Shapen in this offense looks like once again. They looked good last week. Excited to see them against a ranked team though now in this BYU team, and excited to see this defense again. Really to see the ones out there consistently playing against a good offense like this BYU team. So excited for this matchup. Definitely have Baylor coming out with the W in this one.
Yeah, and honestly, because the altitude is going to be a little different up there. Yeah. If I was the coaches, I would take them out like on Friday and just go through like a mini workout. Don't try to kill them, but just go through a mini workout just to get them used to it. They might not get used to the altitude until probably the second half. You really want to be honest. But if you take them out on Friday, I feel like that they'll be kind of, just acquainted with it a little better. But honestly, I'm excited for the defense too. I really feel like that the DBs had a very good game.
Yeah,
and that was one of the spots that people really been worrying about is the DBs. But I feel like they had a very good game. I know it's not a lot to take away from because they played Albany, but they did what they were supposed to, and really just looking overall at the team, man, the running backs are like really good. I really like. I think his last name is Reese, number 29, the freshman. That guy, man. He cuts on a dime.
Yeah, like, they got some special ones. I like the running back room.
Yeah,
I really like the running back room that Baylor has.
Baldwin, that receiver, he's a Central Texas product.
Another Centex product straight out of Killeen, Texas, and he's putting on a show so far here in this season. I think he's geared up and getting ready for a big season. Just seeing the different ways that the offense likes to use him and how many different ways they can move him around. Just so much speed. So excited to see what he's going to be able to do throughout the season, and just the creativity that the Baylor offense will get to have using him. So I think we both picking Baylor. Both picking Baylor in this one for the W. So we've got a couple other good games going on in Texas. PV versus Abilene Christian. That's an exciting one. I'm excited to see both teams coming in 1-0. PV kind of getting to play up just a little bit to Abilene Christian and getting a chance to show, how they hang with some of the bigger dogs, some of the bigger schools in Texas, at least bigger as far as PV is concerned. So excited to see how that outcome is going to be. We've got Texas A&M versus Appalachian State. A&M coming off of a win last week against Sam Houston, 31-0. Now they get another chance here against Appalachian State. I want to see what this A&M offense looks like again. I wasn't really that impressed with them last week. Want to see what they can do this week, how the offense looks. Was very impressed by the freshman receiver, Evan Stewart. I think he is definitely going to be one of those guys as far as when you talk about receivers moving forward in college and in the NFL a few more years. So excited to see how he's going to look in that one. So I know we both pick A&M to go ahead and win in that one.
I pick A&M, but I seen how Appalachian State played North Carolina last week, putting all those points on them like that. So
40 points in a quarter.
Yeah, that's. I don't think anybody's ever done.
No,
that.
I've not that I've seen, at least not that I've seen. 40 points in a quarter is pretty crazy. In the fourth quarter, at that.
Fourth quarter, that's crazy. So I really want to see how this Appalachian State offense is going to face this Texas A&M defense. I know Texas A&M played Sam Houston last week, so but still, this Appalachian State offense might really be for real. We never know. They might be for real. So I just want to see if they're going to score some points on this Texas A&M defense, or is the defense going to be able to just go ahead and shut them out?
Yeah, so excited to see how that A&M, all those prospects, those 5 stars that they've been able to pick up over the last couple of years. Excited to see those guys back out there once again. I think one of the biggest games that we're all waiting for, Alabama versus Texas. Really big game. 2 of the bigger schools in the nation coming together, clashing, and this Texas team, they're going to see what they're going to be able to do against this Alabama team. It's going to be tough. Alabama's not number 1 in the nation for no reason. So this Alabama team is definitely going to be tough. But Texas thinks they've got some guys, Bijan Robinson, Quinn Ewers, some other guys. So they're excited to see how they can go out there and match up against this Alabama team. I've definitely got Alabama winning this one by a few touchdowns. I think just the talent gap, Alabama's just superior right now to most of the teams in college football. It's not just Texas. I think they're just better than majority of the nation, besides maybe a few teams. They're right up there with them. But Alabama, how do you see this game going in this one, PJ, this Alabama versus Texas game?
I hate to be negative.
Yeah.
I really just don't see it being close for Texas. Now is not the right time for them to face Alabama. I'm not saying that they can never beat them, but really right now is not the time. When I look at Texas, I feel like that they are trying to rebuild right now, going into the SEC. If you would have, like, this was a game that happened in a few years, this game is going to be closer.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to see what this a potential game like this could look like in a couple years with some of the recruits that Texas is pulling in. Yeah.
But as far as right now, man, the guys are too young at Texas. Alabama got some older guys. They got some guys that's been in the program for a minute now. And they're just overall just a well-rounded team. Texas is still trying to figure it out. They're not sure how Quinn, like, they seen him play good last week, but they were playing UL Monroe. So this is going to be actually like his second game ever starting in college.
Yeah, second game starting, and you get Alabama.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So honestly, man, I got Alabama winning by a few touchdowns also. But either way, Texas shouldn't hold their heads down. I mean, you're playing Alabama. Really, this should be a learning lesson for you. Honestly, you're probably going to play the best team out of anybody in the Big 12. So
no one else taking on a team. Alabama, they're number 1 team in the nation. So yeah.
So this really should be a learning lesson for them. Just learn and just see what you did wrong in the game. But honestly, man, just try your hardest. Honestly.
Yeah, like you said, I didn't think about that part. Getting experience going forward, getting to take on a team like Bama, and then going forward, being able to take on the rest of the Big 12 teams. That's definitely something in a learning curve that they could use to their advantage going into some of the rest of these teams in the or some of the rest of these games in the Big 12. Another matchup, future Big 12 matchup that we got: Houston versus Texas Tech. Another good one that I am excited to see. Houston, like we said, crazy game versus UTSA, triple overtime game, coming off of winning that one. So taking on a team now in Tech that is going to be a future Big 12 rival and a future Big 12 matchup for them. Excited to see how Houston can do in this one. A lot of people said if they can come out, 2-0 after this first 2 weeks against UTSA and U of H, they have a good chance to possibly go undefeated through their conference play and then have to take on a good Cincinnati team in the final. So U of H versus Texas Tech. I think I'm going to go with U of H in this one to go ahead and get that leg up against Texas Tech. It's not going to be easy. Texas Tech is a good opponent as well. So, PJ, how do you see this one going out, U of H and Texas Tech?
Well, this game is similar to the BYU versus Baylor game.
Yeah.
U of H is having to go to Lubbock to play Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, honestly, man, I feel like it's gonna be a shootout. Both teams have high powered offenses. I'm not too sure about the defenses right now, but honestly, whoever gets to stop on defense is gonna win this game. I got U of H. I feel like U of H is a very good team. I'm excited to see them in the Big 12. I feel like this is going to be a great rivalry too,
Mm-hmm.
that people are going to really be talking about. Is Texas Tech versus U of H. I'm really going to love that game. So I got U of H. I feel like that they're right now. Texas Tech, they're kind of rebuilding.
Yeah.
U of
Yeah.
H kind of know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I got U of H winning this game, but it can go either way though. It's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, so a lot of good matchups going on around the state of Texas in this college football. As this college football season starts and kicks off, we always like to talk about when we get a chance to just the state of the Big 12, since that is where most of the Texas teams are at, and just how we see the state of the Big 12 moving forward and how we see it right now. So just we got to see West Virginia versus Pitt. They didn't get a chance to win that one, but West Virginia looked good in that one as well. Moving forward, how do you see kind of some of these Big 12 teams kind of ranking out? You got Texas, you got Oklahoma, who had a good win last week as well. Baylor had a big win last week. So you see now after week one, you can kind of judge some of these guys. We've seen how some of these guys are starting to look. Where do you see some of these guys kind of matching up in the pecking order in the Big 12 right now?
Right now I got honestly, Baylor and Oklahoma are two of the top teams for sure in the Big 12. Every team looked pretty good though, man. Every team looked actually very good. Even West Virginia with the loss, every team looked good. JT Daniels played very good, and he showed that West
impressed
Virginia
by JT Daniels for sure. Yeah,
they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. West Virginia, and honestly, they weren't even in my top five. Honestly,
no,
whenever I was speaking on just like who can come out in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So I had to put them up there. They're going to be a very tough team. Kansas State's going to be tough. Baylor, Oklahoma, of course, Oklahoma State, even with them letting Central Michigan score like 44 points on them. That's a lot of points to me, honestly. Well, to anyone.
Yeah.
44 points,
Yeah.
definitely not against Central Michigan, but I feel like that Oklahoma State's going to get it together. It's going to be a very, very good season for the Big 12.
Yeah.
Just like last year. I mean, a lot of their teams, I think, only like one team lost in the bowl game last
Yeah,
year.
Big
So
12 look good so
really
far.
good.
This just starting this season. They look good last year too. So some of these Big 12 teams, like you said, I still got Baylor at the top of the Big 12. Obviously, impressive win. Like we said, it was against Albany State, but still to be able to come out and just do what you do. That's you see North Carolina against Appalachian State. You see U of H versus UTSA. It's not always easy to go out and just win games that you pick to win. So Baylor, I still got them at the top, like you said. Oklahoma coming in behind them, and it's really a fight between a few teams. Oklahoma State looked good last week as well. Oklahoma State, excited to see what they're going to be able to do throughout the season and this weekend coming up as well. So I've got those three at the top. Texas coming in at number 4, West Virginia as well. So those are probably be my top 5 teams. Just right now, just as far as week one goes, just my top 5 teams in the Big 12. Excited to see how this Big 12 teams can match up against some of these other teams. BYU and Baylor team coming up this week, the Texas Tech and Houston coming up. So excited to see how the Big 12 is gonna, kind of go against some of these other teams. And other news before we get out of here, we've seen the college football playoffs. They're voting right now. 12 teams to get into the playoffs. PJ, how do you see a 12-team playoff kind of looking? I thought, a lot of people saying, oh, they should go to 6, they should go to 8. To see that they're proposing a 12-team playoff, how do you see that? Do you think this is good for football, college football, bad for college football? How do you think this is going?
It's both good and bad for college football. Me personally, I would have did maybe 8. I said 8 at the most. I feel like we both did.
Yeah, I said the same number, 8 teams probably.
8 teams, but 12. I mean, that's a lot, but it's going to help college football a lot. We need parity, we need that in college football right now, and that's going to help like certain teams really just coming out of the Big 12, maybe even the ACC, who are actually good, but they're not in the top 4.
Yeah,
we've seen some teams like last year. I feel like Baylor team last year could have made a run for it.
Yeah. They
really,
were top 10, so that would have put them in.
Put them in
if it was going off of a 12 team.
2014. We seen 2014 with Baylor and TCU.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody remembers that. So I feel like 12 teams, that'll be a lot, but it's going to help. It's going to help college football a lot. I feel like the views are going to be insane. Now. We actually having like for real playoff games multiple weeks before we got the championship, and they're going to. I feel like they might turn these bowl games, like certain bowl games, into like a playoff game. You know what I mean? So that's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of money involved.
Yeah, a whole lot of money involved. Definitely that is going on. Like you said, they're going to have to switch up how some of the bowl games are. Really just going to interested to see how they're going to structure it. Do certain teams get a bye week but that's going to give a chance to, we got to see Cincinnati in the playoffs last year, but a lot of years a team like Cincinnati didn't get a chance to get in. I remember a couple years ago when a team like Coastal Carolina had a good team, and a lot of people, wanted to see them in. Of course, they UCF a few years ago when they were good. So that's going to give teams like that a chance to be able to go in and play some of these top schools and a chance to play teams that really they never would have had a chance to go in and play. And now you're going to have the talks of how many teams from the SEC gets to go, how many teams from the Big Ten gets to go. Is it going to be an automatic berth if you win your conference? All these different things are going to come into play. So like you said, I didn't see 12 teams. Maybe I thought they were going to go maybe 6 or 8, but I'm excited either way it goes to see how that can kind of shake up things in college football. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that one is going to go. Folks, we want to thank everybody really that watched with us tonight. Make sure you guys are going and following us on all of our social medias, on Instagram, Centex Sports TV, on Twitter at Centex Sports, YouTube at Centex Sports TV. Just dropped an episode of Centex Primetime on there as well. Go and check that episode out. On Instagram, we've got a lot of different highlights coming to you. Also, we've got the full game of the Conley La Vega game from last week, an instant classic that went all the way down to the wire, 35-34 win for Conley in that one. That game is up on YouTube. That is Centex Sports TV on YouTube. So make sure you guys go on there and check that out. This Friday, we have Conley versus Cameron. Excited. Both teams coming in 2-0. Really excited for that one. Folks, that's a 7:30 kickoff, so be ready for that one. 7 o'clock pregame. We will be coming to you live, and that's on YouTube. That is on the website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Also, check us out on the Roku and the Fire Stick app. If you guys have those, you can watch us from your TVs in your living room, the Centex Sports app. Also, go on to our Facebook or any of our Instagram. Leave some feedback, guys. We love to hear from you guys. Drop some comments in some of those chats that we have going. So we're really excited for the game coming up this weekend. We're getting ready to sign off here tonight, folks. Once again, thank everybody that watched with us. This has been Jalen Gillis and PJ Gaither with Centex Sports Primetime inside Texas football. Guys, we will see you on Friday.
Look, I was on that front line. How they finna tell us it ain't our time? Search what you can't find. I do it for them days that we couldn't shine.